to my chain. I, Welcome to My Chain, My Story, the only show that enables women to share their own secrets and insights to wellness, one story at a time. With our host this week, it's Michelle Patterson. Hey, Michelle.
Hello, Paul. And hello, community. I'm Michelle Patterson, and I'm the Experience Officer at My Jane, created for women, by women, where our mission is to help you own your wellness. Our focus at My Jane is women helping women get well through community, education, exploration of cannabis solutions to address your biggest health concerns. Those concerns like sleep, pain, stress, all these things that are out there, and there's so much information. And how can we come together and talk about our story, real life experiences, so that we can be better and do better by helping one another. Every journey is unique. Every path is special. So we decided to create My Jane, My Story, to share the stories, resources discovered, and information from well-known experts in this space. Stories are shared from real experts and also real people with their struggles to find answers. I have spent the last decade, and I feel like I'm really close to the target, in producing the California Women's Conference and looking for individuals out there that had resources and ideas of how to navigate through the challenges that we face. And I am bringing on to you today someone who I feel is leading the charge with this. And I have the beautiful opportunity of working with her and running with her on this journey every single day. And she is our Director of Wellness, Amanda Crawford. Yay!
Yay! Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Words don't express that goes both ways. And just the pleasure of getting to work with you and see what you have done and created for women throughout your career it's such an honor to be in your presence each day and to get to work with you on this mission to help women feel better.
Well, we're having a blast. I mean, even
We
Paul
are.
started the music and Kim is sitting right next to me, and I'm surrounded by people who I love, who are, my best friends, and we get to go through this together.
Yeah.
And not one of us has all the answers, but collectively we're making a difference.
And we're a force.
And we really, really are. And so to be able to show up where you have these answers and you have this education, because
Right.
we're in a market today where ignorance is a decision. Mm-hmm. We're in the knowledge and the space of information. So
Absolutely.
to be able to share that. So I want to just get right into it and talk about how you came to know cannabis. And I know you have a personal story with your family, and so many of us do when it hits home, and how you rose to the occasion to really, really vet out, what was available out there. So talk to us about what your personal journey has led you to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with, just a caveat that I wasn't a major cannabis consumer at all, just similar to others. I had tried it maybe a handful of times in college and I just felt like it wasn't for me. And so I had basically discounted, cannabis now being where I am, of all the properties that it does to help people, feel better. But really my journey started when when my husband and I did a trip with EO. EO is Entrepreneurs Organization, and EO facilitated a trip to Denver where we actually got to go behind the scenes. This was about 4 years ago, of all the major grows in Colorado, in Denver, in Colorado, and we got to go behind the scenes of Dixie Elixirs and their manufacturing plant, as well as Native Roots. I think we were maybe the only tour that was allowed to go in Native Roots at that time. They were the largest indoor grow in the world, and I'm pretty sure after they did our tour, nobody else was allowed to go through ever again. For a group of entrepreneurs, what can we say? So at that point, my husband Jason and I looked at each other and were like, wow, there's something here. This is a huge emerging market. Clearly people are finding a ton of benefit. We weren't educated. We were naive and we didn't know. And so after that point, we started digging in, doing our research, having conversations, with some of these industry leaders, really asking, why cannabis? And there was one CEO that we were chatting with, and he told us, he spent every day going to the bar and drinking himself silly. He had a very successful career. He was a functioning alcoholic. But for him, he quickly realized that wasn't the path he wanted to stay on. And he attributes his ability to be able to stop drinking to cannabis. And so he was like, okay, there's something here. I'm going to create a company around that. And it's one of the largest consumable cannabis companies, that we know today. And so after that, we got connected with a group called ArcView, which ArcView is a cannabis investor group. And through ArcView, we were able to really accelerate our learning path and get connected to just incredible people like Kim, how Kim and I met. But within that amount of time of really starting to go in and do our own research and understanding what the potentials were for this plant, we had a family tragedy that occurred, which was my stepmom got diagnosed with glioblastoma multiforme, which is pretty much the most aggressive form of brain cancer out there. Usually it's a 14-month, time frame that they give you. And the traditional therapies are just, they've been traditional for decades now. Not a lot has changed. There's a lot of emerging research and there's some exciting breakthroughs that are happening. But I just wanted to ask the question of what else can we do to help support her, while she's undergoing traditional treatment. So I was looking at a passion for the last several years has been functional integrative medicine, looking at nutrition, looking at supplementation, looking at checking our hormones, exercise.
Well, and Amanda, I wanted to just let's take a moment to talk about that because thank goodness that your stepmom had you to be able to come in, because especially when you're being given that diagnosis, fear, floods
Absolutely.
the body. And it's you really look at, what options are available and what am I being told? And to have somebody that was in her corner, that could go ahead and guide her and say, okay, Mom, this is what is available.
Yep.
So was she receptive? Was she okay? So you're shaking your head. Yeah.
No, she wasn't really receptive. She was open to it. We got aligned with an incredible company called CannaKids. And I had heard about CannaKids through a friend in the industry, and I gave them a call. We set up an appointment with a nurse who was phenomenal, and she talked to us about getting my stepmom on a cannabis protocol that was basically helping her work up to utilizing 500 milligrams of THC a day, which is a lot. But they had a program. It was very structured. With other holistic means of what to be doing during treatment. So, again, going back to nutrition, to, different therapies, and really just taking care of your whole body, within itself, and, still being able to even use it with traditional treatment. And so, with my stepmom, it was just, she grew up in the era of stigma. It was reefer madness, and she's amazing. She was an amazing doctor, and her thing is she didn't want to have to go back to her patients and talk to her patients about what she was doing because there was such a stigma there, and so unfortunately we were able to get her to try it a couple of times, and the times that she did, her anxiety was totally mitigated. She was actually sleeping at night. My dad said they were the best nights that she had. And that's where my passion really arose for wanting to educate women, wanting to educate people around cannabis. And then, shortly thereafter started working on a cannabis education platform to really try to make messages, clear and fun, for people to want to learn more about cannabis. And, that's really what spurred my passion, and feel so grateful again every day for being able to bring that passion and that mission that started with my stepmom.
Well, and they say that your passion and your mission find you.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over to Robert for a quick break.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything: your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
Bring it back to Michelle, even though she mispronounced my name and said back to Robert when it's Paul Roberts, but that's okay. Back to Michelle.
So thank you, Paul Roberts. All right, so let's go back and let's talk about this, Amanda, because again, I think this is such an important piece of the puzzle. And whatever you decide, it needs to be where you're making that decision because it's based on what you feel is the best, not based on stigmas, not based on, a family member's experience or somebody else. I mean, so you're pulling this information together and curating the best possible experience for your mom.
Exactly. Well, and Michelle, we've talked about this a lot, when it comes to having your own advocate. And I was grateful that I was able to take the time because it is so time consuming, but I was able to take the time and really be that advocate for my stepmom, from going in and detoxifying the house to changing her deodorant to, really getting in and digging deep on, ways and supplemental therapies to help her, heal. And it was pretty much a full-time job. And, so coming around to, just basically, what we're working to create and what we see that women need is women need this advocate and, somebody to come in and help dig through the overwhelm.
Or they have to quit what they're doing and take this on full time.
Exactly.
It truly is a full-time role.
Exactly.
And so why not have a trusted advisor in Jane that you can call on, that you can have a wellness navigator to be able to help structure and help give you some of this information so that you in turn can take that information and personalize it for you and what works best for you.
Exactly. And it's just, and what we've been seeing, over the last several months is how badly and how much of a necessity this is, for women, not just going through, terminal illnesses, but just dealing with sleep and not being able to fall asleep and dealing with, day-to-day anxiety, dealing with focus and just wanting to be able to take a breath, and, at least find that moment to maybe start thinking about even becoming your own advocate. But there's, we just day to day, we have so much going on that, now we're having to outsource our own health, and seeing companies, like My Jane and what we're creating here and others pop up to help facilitate and help bring that conversation back to a head and bring that conversation back to a priority. As women, we are notorious for taking care of others before we take care of ourselves. And it's time to flip that script. And again, this is, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but, and this is what we talk about all the time, but I'm so passionate about what we're doing because it really brings home that for us to be able to truly take care of others, we have to take care of ourselves first.
And think about what happens too, and that's why I'm so excited because I feel like, and I've worked on massive projects in my life, but to me, this one is the one that fills me up the most. And it's because it gives me a platform to be able to share my story. It gives me a platform to be able to hear other stories so that I can best navigate, through life. And that's how women, I mean, that's how we socialize medicine. You know, it's not because the guy in the white coat tells us, well, you got to do this. It's we're going out and we're getting that first, second, third opinion. And then we're talking to our girlfriends who've gone through it,
Right.
who desperately want to share what they went through so that they in turn can help you navigate through it. And that's beautiful.
Right. And I, you know, I think you hit the nail on the head with, it's about us being vulnerable and sharing our stories, you know, and coming to the table with, here was my experience, good, bad, right or wrong. It's never going to be perfect, but what I want to do is I want to be vulnerable so that I can potentially help whoever's just listening to my message or whoever my story resonates with. You know, that's how we've told, you know, that's how we've passed down, you know, decades of information. It's really through storytelling, you know, and these are true live stories that have changed people's lives. And, you know, the more we share, the more we get to disseminate information that's going to help somebody.
Well, and then we're not showing up in fear, but
Right.
we're truly showing up in love. And I refer to as I get a double dose of love. You know, every time I'm vulnerable and I share my story to somebody that might benefit from hearing, you know, how I navigated or what I did, I get filled up and they get filled up. And so it's that double dose of love. And that's for me what my Jane, and I know for you, and I know with Kim Kovacs, our CEO, that was the messaging that she and I and you had in mind of what if we could create a platform where women felt safe, they didn't feel judged, you know, they came in and said, you know what, this is what I was dealing with and this is how I got through it.
Exactly.
And it's positive. And we get so focused on looking at, you know, these lives on Instagram and Facebook and people are jet setting around. But what happens when life happens? You know, we're all going to face death.
Yep.
I mean, death and taxes. What if, you know, and this is coming from the chief experience officer, what if we could have a pleasant process? You know, and I remember my grandmother passing from cancer, and I can remember hearing her just wailing in pain. You know, and to me, it is a human rights issue. And we have something in cannabis that helps manage that pain, stress, anxiety, you know, cancer. I mean, people that can have access and options to this. And for me, it's, I will not rest until I make sure everybody knows about it. Whether they decide that is something that's good for them, it's their decision. They own their wellness. But at least we're showing up, giving access. And so much so, we've created this company that delivers curated cannabis boxes. We have a sleep box.
Right.
So I'm so excited about the sleep box for
Right.
me, because that's, you know, my story with my mother who was taking Ambien and sleepwalking. And I had to tell my dad, you know, so I know about stigmas. I had to tell my father, you know, former DEA, you know, Dad, I'm a healer, not a dealer.
My favorite line you've ever said, by the way.
You know, and he's like, what are you working on? And what are you, and so let's talk about this sleep box and how can we get a sleep box?
Oh, the sleep box is so exciting. I am thrilled about this box. We have some outstanding brands present in this box, and it is really based and curated around helping women get the best night's sleep that they've had.
Woohoo! Which again, all studies show, I mean, if you're not getting a good sleep, we're not functioning the next day.
No.
We are not at our best.
Right.
It starts with sleep.
It all starts with sleep, and just like you said, if we're not getting a good night's sleep, I mean, we're not going to be as resilient. You know, we're not going to be able to be present to tackle the day the way that we want to show up and the way that we want to do. And so to get a sleep box, we're hosting an event.
Can I get some drum roll, Paul?
Yeah.
Drum roll, let's go. Yes, because we are all about, we're talking about
so
serious
exciting.
issues like addressing sleep, pain, anxiety. But let me tell you, we are having the time of our life. We are having a blast.
So much fun.
You know, and it's like, why? These are functions that we have to do. You know, cannabis is like water. You know?
It is.
You know, it needs to be a daily supplement.
Right.
So how can you incorporate that into your life so that you can go ahead and get homeostasis with sleep, pain, anxiety? So drum roll.
You know, I don't have one.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
well, we can
All
make up
we'll
our
do
own.
La, 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 la. So how do I get the sleep box?
So go to the MyJane website or check us out on social media. We have a link present on all of those different fronts for you to be able to sign up to join us at our upcoming sleep event at Haven, formerly known as Showgrow here in Santa Ana. And from 4 to 6, we are going to be giving you the gift of sleep. And we're going to have a bed present ready for raffle, which is super exciting. So come jump on the mattress with us, and really we're going to have incredible education activations. Dr. Michelle Ross, who has recently come on as an advisory board member for MyJane, she's phenomenal. She's done more research for cannabis and women than pretty much anybody else on the market, and she's going to be talking about sleep. We're going to have all the different brands who are present. They're each going to be talking about sleep and how their different products work for sleep. So if you're looking to get educated, if you're looking for answers, this is the perfect event for anyone to attend.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Gary Trudell with Custom Comfort Mattress,
Yes, Gary.
who always shows up
Yep.
in full force to help out our community and what we're doing and what we're building. Be a part of MyJane. Be a part of our playground community, and let's come together and let's solve some of these issues. There is no reason why you need to have a sleepless night. Let's talk
None.
about this. Let's share best practices. Let's curate this information so that you leave with a good night's sleep. We're managing stress. We're managing, just our overall well-being.
That's it. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. We're here to just, period, statement, end of it, help women feel better. And we're going to be doing that by first tackling sleep.
Wonderful. Well, we will be doing this every single week. We want to know the experts that are out there, but those experts are the individuals that are actually going through this process. So reach back out, share your story, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear your story. And we'll be sharing our stories, but let's set this up so that all of us collectively together can really help each other heal and own our wellness.
Thanks for tuning in to MyJane, My Story Radio. Join our MyJane community at www.myjane.com and get instant access to our Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on MyJane products and events. For personal attention right now, you can also pick up the phone and call us at 833-MY-JANE. That's 833-MY-JANE2 and speak with your own wellness concierge. Right now, it's time